been watching it from the get-go.
Backstage, a dear friend said to me, listen, if you're nervous, just imagine the whole audience is naked. Which I've been doing this whole time. Whoa!
My favorite character is Giannis.
The whole idea of the show was just so new and just so interesting.
I must say, I find the show really invigorating.
Let's go to the beach for naked summation women and margarita shootouts.
We really like the show, that's why we came.
This is good!
Let me get out of the way. This is sheer torture for a writer, okay? So please, I beg you, bear with me. This is, you sit in your office wearing a ratty t-shirt with a keyboard in your lap, and you think of a situation and some characters, and it turns into this, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Creation in Henson's got a terrific weekend for us ahead. Lots of fun. We've got, as you know, the entire cast is here. Crazy Australian actors. It's going to be a lot of fun. There are a couple guys, vastly creative, talented, wonderful friends of mine, and people to whom we are incredibly indebted. Mr. Brian Henson and David Kemper.
Hi, I'm Brian.
Brian,
That's David. Wow, there are a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Well, we had all of our television shows that we were doing, mostly kids and family shows. And then our Creature Shop in London, we were doing wonderful creatures and character effects for movies. And we wanted to be able to take what the Creature Shop was doing so well, mostly for other people's movies, and bring that to television as sort of the only company that could do that, that we're that facile with the Creature Shop and with our television producing experience. So we wanted to do a show that sort of showcased what the Creature Shop could do. So it sort of started from there. It didn't start from the idea. It started from, wouldn't it be great if? And I think we started with a show. We started with the idea. We knew that what we wanted was a science fiction series that was that had a much more gutsier balance of cool alienness that was more gutsier than Star Trek, for instance, that we thought was, you know, pretty, all the emotions and all are dialed down. It's a very cool, subtle series. We thought we could do something that was more alien, that would allow anything to come into the show. We thought if we could have a show that allowed us to do the best stuff that we can do as a company and let it come into the series, wouldn't that be fantastic? Rockne came up with the idea, I believe, of taking an American astronaut who is kind of a normal guy, not a heroic astronaut, more of a scientist who is more like any of us, and put him as the lead character into this other galaxy. So that's how the whole John Crichton concept came about. And then we just started designing the aliens around him, literally, before we were even scripting. We started thinking, well, wouldn't it be great to have this kind of alien, maybe this kind of alien? And we started, that then brought us to, okay, now how can we come up with a situation where he ends up in a main cast that's so diverse? And that's brought us to fugitives, that they were fugitives, and that brought us to the Peacekeeper. So the Peacekeeper, they were on the run, and at one point it was Space Chase. You can tell from the title it was more of fugitive in outer space. The whole idea of them being on the run was a little more on the surface when it was Space Chase.
Originally we basically had the pitch, we had an idea, and we went to Fox at the time, and that was now 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And
November, whatever, November of '93. Yeah.
And we went to, well, the head of ABC had just said, you know what I want? The one thing I want is a series like Star Trek. And then we went in and pitched him, and he said, wow, that's fantastic, but I don't think they believed we could make it. And then at Fox, they loved the idea, and they ordered some scripts, like 5 scripts. Yeah, we started developing the series.
They wanted a pilot off the pilot script, and so we brought David in. And in fact, after I wrote the pilot script, there was interest in the show by the network, but it would have been very expensive to create or to produce the pilot as a standalone pilot. So the network wanted some backup scripts as evidence that the show could actually sustain. And I had David write 2 of them, and I wrote a couple of them, and it was that gestalt that sold the show to the Sci-Fi Channel.
And what happened was, Brian said to me before I left the office, he said 2 things. He said, I will make this series. And then he said, no, I won't validate your parking. I went home and did something real quickly that my agents thought I was nuts about. I said, in every contract you ever do for me, because I trust him, put in a clause that if Space Chase ever goes, I get to walk out of the contract. My agent said, it's never going to go. And I said, then no one will care if I put it in the contract. And I had 4 jobs, and none of those producers ever thought. They all went, oh, this is never going to go. And one day, Brian called Rock, Rock called me, I went into my boss's office, and I gave him the keys, and I left. Real quick, just to go forward, the show got sold, Brian sent Rock to Australia, Rock called me, we went to Australia, we had a plane flight, we came down real low, he cast some people, we cast some people, we did a bunch of stuff, we found the sets, we found a crew.
Everybody said, no worries, mate.
No worries, mate. Which means
several million
you're going to meet
later.
a bunch of Australians over this week. No worries, mate means you are so...
Means you're in really big trouble.